right. And then at the end, we'll do some Q&A. There's sometimes some questions people got for people. All right, we're almost there. Come on, click this over here. All right. Hey, y'all, this is Trent Knox with the Trent Knox Show. This is Talking Shop with Eric James Morris. He's an entrepreneur, a family man, a actor. He's also a musician. There's a lot that he's got to say, and I'm really appreciate having him on. And so I just also wanted to do a real quick housekeeping thing. I know a lot of you who tune in on the live stream have always asked, "Oh, who's Trent Knox? Who is he, and what's going on?" I'm a podcaster, a live streamer, an entrepreneur. A person in the eSports industry, music, film, fashion here in Austin, Texas. And my passions have drawn me to do podcasting and live streaming. And I get to have awesome guests on like Eric James Morris to see how their business is working in the industry and where they got themselves started. So Eric, do you want to say hello to the listeners and the viewers? Yeah. Thank you for coming on the show. First off, let's start about the origin story. What's the origin story for Eric?
Well, I was born about 40-something years ago. Now, as far as being an actor, my whole life, I've been a musician since I was a little kid. I started playing guitar when I was about 12, and I was a little punk, heavy metal, skater punk kind of guy. I had a little punk rock band growing up as a teenager. We used to play, make a bunch of noise more than anything, but I've always been very passionate about it. And later in life, I just kept playing. I kind of grew into doing more country music and classic rock, a lot of cover type stuff, playing out at restaurants, bars, festivals, and fairs, and things like that. So I've always had a love for being in the entertainment industry. And later on, my son, when he was he was maybe 12 or 13 or something like that, he had an interest in pursuing some acting. So we got him hooked up with an agent and having the right pictures taken, and got some classes going, stuff like that. But because of his age, he was a minor, and we had to be on set with him. So one night I was on set with my son, and a lot of the background talent did not show up because it was a weird location. It was raining. It was just a really tough night. So he asked if I would fill in. So I said, yeah, and didn't know anything about it. I've always had an interest, but I didn't really ever pursue it or really put forth the right steps to make this kind of thing happen. Anyways, after we got done, the director asked me, he said, "Hey man, have you ever done any acting before?" And I was like, "No." And he says, "Well, you should look into it." He said I had a very important look. And I don't know if that was a compliment or what. I kind of took it as one. But so I kind of ran with that, and it stayed on my mind for a couple of years. My son, he kind of lost interest, got involved with sports in high school and things like that. But I kept thinking about that. So I decided, well, I'm going to look into it. And so that's what I did. I started looking for some background work in the beginning, doing some extra type stuff, just seeing what it's even like to be on a professional set. And I liked it. I just kind of fell in love with it. And so I started taking classes. I found a good studio close by. And I found myself there every Wednesday night for 2 years straight. And I started going to different types of small acting training type stuff with some different people that would come to town, just doing the audition training, just where any kind of training opportunity that would come by that I was interested in, I would take it. So just get myself trained up to get better at acting, and I've never looked back. I've just been a constant pursuit ever since, and I love it. I'm still doing it now. I'm taking some new classes next week with a school here in Atlanta that's well known, and I got an audition today for a Tyler Perry show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm always doing something in the industry, just keeping it going, just keeping the wheels turning.
Yeah,
that's the way.
It's business. Treat it like a business. So.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we do. We just try to keep it going as much as possible.
Yeah.
Hang on one second, man. I kind of lost signal with you on my speaker because somebody called.
Oh,
It,
okay.
just hang on one second, man. Let me get back to that.
I think it's kind of funny though. With this software, you're actually seeing my second camera, and not the camera that I use for the stream. I was having problems with that last time. But anyway, you talked about and I'm just talking while we have a little bit of dead air here. But
Yeah, go ahead.
you talked about background acting. How did you? What was your experience? Your first role as a background actor, and maybe we can go from there.
Well, ironically enough, it was for a small independent film here in Atlanta called 64 over
Mhm.
8. And
Really?
it's about being a background talent in Atlanta, oddly enough. It was a pilot for a series that they wanted to do. It was a comedy.
Okay.
And it was quite an experience for to be the first time doing it. We shot this in a warehouse that had, it had power, but it had no heat at all. And
Mm.
it was happened to be a rare cold spell in Atlanta. It was like in the teens. It was very cold. So it was a tough experience on that spectrum. Very cold, and
Yeah.
but I learned a lot just being on set. And I wound up having a little featured spot, just kind of a goofy guy. One of the guys that was playing I was a background playing a background in the show.
Mhm.
So it's kind of it's just kind of ironic. But
Yeah.
so that pilot got a lot of attention,
Yeah.
but I didn't really. I don't think it got picked up by anybody or anything like that. But
I see.
nonetheless, it was a good experience, and I
Yeah.
just took that and went forward. I did some background work in Fast and the Furious when they shot that here.
Hmm.
Had a really cool featured spot on a Vampire Diaries episode 811, where I was actually having word. Well, I didn't have words because I couldn't talk, but I got into a fight with my. I was a coffee shop owner, and the vampire tells me that this guy that works for me has been sleeping with my wife every Tuesday morning or something like that,
Hmm.
and then you shows me slamming my employee into the glass door. It's like the opening scene of the episode, so it's
Oh, that's really cool.
kind of a neat thing. It was a pretty awesome experience, especially where I was at in my acting career. I was new, so
Yeah.
it was very cool to work with the stunt coordinator and have that much coverage on an opening episode. So yeah, I quickly grew tired of the background stuff. I'm just not really, you know, um, it's not acting. I enjoy bringing a character to life,
Yeah.
and being a background talent, I just not so much. But I have thought about doing some background work here in
Hmm.
Atlanta coming up for one reason, one reason only.
Hmm.
Um, Clint Eastwood is filming another movie here in Atlanta.
Mm.
It's about I forget the name of it, but it's about the 1996 Olympic bombings that we had here in Atlanta,
Mm.
and so he's doing a film about it.
Okay.
And Clint Eastwood is one of my all-time favorites from when I was a kid, when he did all the westerns, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all that.
Hmm.
And him as a director, he does some really cool stuff too. So I would just love to meet him. If I can't get on set as a role, which isn't likely in a feature film like that, it's just going to be tough. I got my agents working on it, see if they can give me an audition opportunity.
Yeah.
But if I cannot, I may just get involved with the casting director that's doing the background talent and see if I can get on set that way, because I really just want to meet Clint Eastwood, before he's gone. So
Yeah, for sure. So you worked doing background, made your way into the industry. Then when was your first day player role, and what was that like?
well, my first ever speaking role was in
Hmm.
a small, no budget independent film. Um, it was terrible. I mean, I look at the footage, I'm like, man, but it was quite an experience in learning, about things. And, plus the filmmaker that we shot it with, they were new. They were, amateurs themselves. And
Hmm.
so there was some complications with camera angles and lighting and stuff like that. But still, it was a cool experience, you know, to actually have lines. And I played the dad to this young man, and we and him have an argument, and so it was kind of a cool experience. That was my first ever time, you know, speaking on camera. So it was quite a you know a monumental moment in my career. So I learned, you know, it was nice to be on set and speak and, you know, and have lines, and I learned a lot just by watching myself. And you know, and every time I do watch myself on camera, I mean, I you know, learned so much, and you always think about ways you could have delivered that differently, and you know, all that stuff. So but yeah.
Have you had
cool.
I've been able to look a little bit over your IMDb and some of your stuff, but have you had a principal role in any films?
Yeah. A bunch of them.
Okay. What is
Rest
that like?
Stop was a remake. It was for a Stephen King remake based off one of his novels called Rest Stop.
Okay.
And I played one of the main guys that I play the evil side of the main character. So I'm the main character, but I'm the dark side of that main character. So
Cool.
I do things that character that their original character wouldn't normally do. I beat the crap out of some people. That's pretty much what I do. I mean, I don't know, I have to look at my IMDb page, but there's a few. Rest Stop was a small short film we did. It got a lot of attention. It did really well on the festival circuit. I won an award out in Los Angeles for the best acting duo. Things like that. I play a mean, evil guy that's kind of affluent, but he likes to abduct women and rape them and torture them and then kill them.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't know. I'd have to see
got a lot
my
going
IMDb
on.
page, man. I'm drawing a blank here, but
yeah. I mean, a lot. It's good to have a lot of experience and whatnot. So one of your most notable roles was on a I think a pilot or a series called Two Roads or something like that. Is that correct?
That was one of my better moments. Yeah, it was that was a pilot it had a good budget. It was through the Sony PlayStation Network.
Oh, okay.
When they were doing stuff like that, I don't think they're even doing that anymore. But I had it was a comedic supporting role. I played a golf cart salesman, which was kind of funny. You know, I'm just really passionate about selling this man a golf cart. And it's just funny when you don't know I'm selling him a golf cart until after we get at the end of the conversation. So it's just kind of funny, you know. And anyways, they liked me so much, you know, that they were going to write me in as one of the main cast to being married to one of the girls. The producer called me and told me that, and I was really, you know, thankful. Super, you know, I was like, wow, that's great, you know. And they were supposed to have the funding from Sony, and it was going to be a series for at least one season. And somewhere along the line, it just completely fell apart. I don't know. I guess maybe Sony decided to pull out of doing stuff like that. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know. I never heard nothing back. So that's the thing about this industry. It's so up and down. You just don't know what's going to happen. You can't really put a lot of eggs in any basket because there's a good chance none of them are going to hatch, you know?
Sure.
So, but yeah, it was a good experience to be on that set and having such a good role. And they were so impressed with my delivery of that character that they wanted to make me a part of the main cast. So that was kind of cool.
What about so you've got something that's in production right now, The Bounty Hunter? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's been an ongoing Western film.
Okay.
Which it's an independent film as well. They do have some distribution set up, so it should do pretty well. It's a well shot, time period correct, Civil War era Western film, which is neat. Now a lot of people are not shooting those. I mean, it's rare that you see a Western anymore. So it was very cool. Just a lot of horseback riding, things like that. I play the love interest in the film. I'm a townie type guy. I'm one of the lead characters in the project. You have the bounty hunter, then you have me, and the storyline is about the bounty hunter being hired to hunt me down because the girl that I'm in love with, her father doesn't like me, so he frames me for murder. So that's what the story is about. So hunting me down, and I just play a well-to-do kind of a town guy, more well-spoken kind of guy that's just kind of clean, and that doesn't really fit in with the whole Western environment.
Gotcha. And so there was another thing that kind of stuck out to me. I saw a piece of it. This is America. How did that come into fruition for you? Is it a short story or a short film?
It's a short story that a young man, that's a friend of mine here in Atlanta, he wrote it. He made a little short film called "This Is America," and he wrote it back when there was a lot of things going on in the news about the police beating up young black men in America, and so he made a story. He made a little short film about it, and I just play a pissed off cop. I shoot a kid. I just suspect him of wrongdoing, and I kill him. That's my role. I just play a mean cop. But this little short film did well on some circuits, some festivals out in Los Angeles. Got a lot of recognition. It was well shot. He did it like a point of view type thing, where the main character looks like he's blinking his eyes. You're looking at the life through the main character's eyes. So it's kind of neat how he did it, But I just played a bad guy, man. I seem to play a lot of bad guys for some reason. That's what it is.
With your work, do you spend a lot of time? You talked about it earlier, but for those actors out there that are looking to expand their portfolio or learn a little bit more, how much time you spent in actors workshops?
A lot. I mean, for 2 years straight, I was in an acting studio every week. Spent a couple hours every Wednesday night. I was in that studio working. I've done several workshops. I just did one recently, 2 weeks ago, with a coach from Los Angeles named Crystal Carson. She did an auditioning workshop here in Atlanta. So I was there. It was a 3-day thing. I sat in the auditorium at Georgia State University for like 3 days, learning and taking in all that she had to offer, which was a lot. It was a very good experience. So a lot of the things I learned are definitely they're helping me out already. So all the time, I'm starting a new class next week with another local studio here for an on-camera class. It's kind of an ongoing type thing. Just keep you sharp. It's just to stay trained up, and it's just something you have to do as an actor. You have to invest in yourself, like with any business, and you have to. You got to spend a little money to make money or be successful in whatever you're trying to do.
Have you participated in any showcases, or what's the acting scene like in Atlanta?
The acting scene is great here. There's a lot being shot. I mean, there's something going on all the time. I mean, there's a lot of big films being shot here. I can't give you a list off the top of my head, but I mean, there's a lot of things being filmed here. So there's a lot of opportunity for actors. I can't tell you how many actors from Los Angeles have, hit me up on Facebook and are asking me questions about Atlanta. They're thinking about moving here, and they're wanting to know what it's like and what's the rent cost, and how much work is here, and all this kind of stuff, which is a blessing. I'm glad that people want to come to the city. I'm actually from Atlanta. I'm one of the few that's actually born and raised here. So, I welcome the talent to come, but unfortunately, a lot of the casting directors here that are in this town, they try to support the local Atlanta talent as much as possible.
That's very nice.
Good. They don't really like. I mean, they appreciate the people wanting to come here to work as well, but the fact is, people that are from Atlanta, are here, and they've been working just as hard as many other people in the world, and they deserve every chance to have an audition just as much as the next guy, but even maybe a little more so because they're actually from the city. They didn't come here from abroad trying to seek the entertainment industry. They grew with the entertainment industry that is here. So there's a lot of opportunity. It's a different environment from like Los Angeles or New York or anything like that. You have the Southern hospitality here. Everybody's pretty cool. You got a lot of your stereotypical redneck types. You got people that are not. I mean, it's just a good mix. it's a big city, but it's a small city. It's
Mm.
a big city with a small city feel. So nothing like New York City or anything like Los Angeles. It's just a different vibe. I mean, I love it here. I love this town. I say that all the time. I'm very blessed to be doing what I'm doing and be in Atlanta and be from here. So I can't say enough good things about it. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, I was just over here playing with some business cards, and I got a couple of good connections over in Atlanta. I do a lot of stuff in the esports industry, and esports is becoming like a big presence in Atlanta. Other than the Dallas hub, which I went up there in at the beginning of June, I went up there for DreamHack Dallas, DreamHack Dallas and DreamHack Atlanta, which is the big esports convention, is going to be in November. And I was just looking at some of the pulled over a card. Reminded me of the Georgia Entertainment Public Relations Alliance is out there, and they help a lot of entertainers and various different industries kind of network and stuff like that. And I've heard good things because they're like a co-op. There's not a lot of that I hear in other markets. Either in Louisiana or New York or anything like that. I hear that there's a lot of collaboration going on in Atlanta, and that there's a lot of help out there. Whereas like even in Austin, we don't really have that. We don't have a lot of co-ops of that kind of nature in the entertainment industry here in Austin.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot going on in Atlanta. I mean, in general, anything entertainment industry related, because the more that's being shot here,
Mm-hmm.
of course, it brings everything else with it. So everything that's part of that industry is here. I mean, I've met makeup artists from Los Angeles. They've done a lot of cool stuff, been on some really big sets.
Mm-hmm.
I also own a business called Morris Environmental. We do waterproofing, which happens to be I just left a customer's house. That's why I'm sitting in my car
Mm-hmm.
doing this now. But I can't tell you how many times I've gone to customers' houses that they've just recently moved here from out west or something, and they're in the entertainment industry somehow. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
many times. So I make a lot of connections just talking. I don't really disclose the fact that I'm an actor. When I got my company hat on. But I see these people left and right. They're here. This is
Yeah.
definitely the Hollywood of the South. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, you talked about auditioning for a new Tyler Perry opportunity and our show series, and I just saw that Tyler Perry is opening his studio in Atlanta. Have you seen it yet, or have you thought about looking at it or
Yeah, I've
going?
been there. It's a used to be an army post here called Fort McPherson.
Oh, okay.
My mother used to work there when she was alive. She was employed by the army, and that's where she worked. So I know exactly where it's at. I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some featured background stuff 2 years ago when he first got going
Yeah.
at Fort McPherson. I've been on there. It's really neat. Building houses and looks like a neighborhood, but it's a movie set, so it's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. But yeah, Tyler Perry's a big name in this town. He does a lot of stuff with the community. He's just always filming something. He's always busy. That man is
Mm-hmm.
always working. They say on his sets, you got to be, there's no, I mean, everything moves really fast.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time for, you better be prepared is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's no screwing around, but yeah, I auditioned for Tyler Perry stuff a lot. There's a particular casting director here. So thankfully she keeps calling me in. So I guess she likes what I'm giving her. She's trying to find the right role for
Mm-hmm.
me and some of his work. Tyler Perry's got several projects going, but yeah, I've been blessed to, I've auditioned for the same show twice this week.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
different episodes. Mm-hmm.
I actually caught that 50 Cent had gotten an invitation from the rapper 50 Cent. Got an invitation by Tyler Perry, and it was crazy. It was like a whole experience that he was putting on there, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to get acting opportunities in Atlanta with that studio being in existence or in fully running, right?
Well, they got a few studios here. They got a couple of big ones. They got one called Pinewood Studios. That's, I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's a big one. It's down in south of Atlanta. They were doing a lot of Marvel stuff here at one time. I think Marvel is not here right now, but they were shooting a lot of stuff at that studio. Some Black Panther. I can't think of any other off the top of my head, but I have a friend of mine who actually works at the studio, so he can't disclose a lot, but he kind of lets me know a little bit about what's being done there. There's some other shows that kind of move into the studio world, and it's nice to shoot in the studio if you can because it's a controlled environment, So when they're able to do that, it's pretty cool. Like some of the other shows, they use locations all around Atlanta, which that's not a problem. But the studio environment is always much better if you can make it happen.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about acting. What is going on in your music? Have you been recording any new music? Or are you thinking about doing more music?
I haven't really had time. I mean, I've been so busy between being an actor and also running my company. It's just a passion thing. I just pick up my guitar often. Well, probably not often enough, but I just pick it up and I'll play and come up with some things and just to stay kind of somewhat fresh. But I haven't played out. I haven't put myself on any rosters or tried to book any gigs in a long time. I just don't have time for it. I mean, I used to do a lot of festivals and things like that. And this past year, I haven't even talked with anybody. I have one lady who's booked me in the past. She asked me if I would be on her roster for an upcoming festival in the fall. And I told her I really don't have the time. I appreciate the invite, but I just don't have time, man. But I do have that is where my heart lays. I really love music. I like to say there's nothing better than getting together with some guys and just jamming off the fly and just coming up with something just totally original, just cumulatively, just it's nothing like it. I had a buddy of mine. We used to do that all the time, and I wish we were recording because we would have some really cool hits.
Yeah. Then so you also talk about your business. So what is it that you're doing entrepreneurially? What is different about your waterproofing company that other folks out there don't do?
Well, Morse Environmental is a small, family business.
Okay.
My wife, she manages our time. She makes all the appointments. She does the books. I have my son. He runs the crew of guys, and we keep them boys busy all the time. I mean, we just deliver a good product at a cheaper price than a lot of my competition, but we deliver on service and accountability much higher than anybody else in the city. We just follow through with everything we said we're going to do. And if there's ever a problem, we're always on top of it. We don't get we just very proactive as far as dealing with issues that may arise. And that's all we have in this town is really our reputation. My name is very important. The company name is very important. So that's what really drives our leads. That's where we get our jobs from. I mean, I do some advertising in other areas, but a lot of my customers are repeat or referral because of just the kind of reputation that we've been able to develop.
Very cool. So usually in the last part of the segment, I like to do a little bit of a Q&A from the chat. So we got a couple of questions. First off, the first question that's here is, what was your favorite role? Do you have a favorite role?
My favorite role, I think, was that short film that we talked about a little while ago called Reap It.
Reap It? Okay.
Yeah, I had a good time with it, man. It was a really dark character, but it was just a good. I feel like it was a good. Oddly enough, with that the character's name was Scott Chambers, and I feel like I really really brought that character to life more so than somebody else could have had. it just felt right. And like I say, it was a good project. It turned out nice.
Someone here says, Eric Morris, you're my idol.
Well,
He says,
I appreciate that.
Then what else we got here? Have you ever played like a romantic role? I mean, that's not exactly what he said, but have you ever played like a romantic role, or have you ever been in a romance comedy or something like that?
I have not, oddly
No.
enough. And, I joke with a lot of my other acting colleagues about that. I feel like I finally made it as an actor whenever I book an actual romantic dramedy or something.
Mm-hmm.
I always play a lot of killers, usually, or bad guy roles. I mean, the bounty hunter, the Western film, you could kind of say that as a romance, sort of, but
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of romance between me and the love interest of the film.
Okay.
There's a little bit, but there's not a lot. It's just very minimal, just enough to tell the story. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would love the opportunity to actually finally play a drama and a love interest or something like that. I mean, I enjoy playing the bad guy. It's great, but I would like to take my acting career to the next notch and actually stretch my abilities to just to play those kind of characters, because those are tough for me. Drama and stuff like that. Those are hard. It's so weird to play something that seems so natural that would be difficult, but it actually is.
Yeah. What that being said, what's your favorite genre? What do you like enjoy watching yourself?
I like comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoy comedy because I like to laugh. I like to cut up, and I enjoy playing comedy when I get the chance. It's just
Mm-hmm.
rare. I don't normally get called out for comedic roles. I'm not what you think of when you think of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy being funny, and I'm not a comedian, but I like playing goofy roles. So like that golf cart sales guy. I thought that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. I just really did. It was so out of my wheelhouse that it was comical.
Yeah, for sure. Have you thought about doing any sort of stand-up, or have you gone to any open mics?
I was speaking with another actress a couple weeks ago at that auditioning workshop I mentioned earlier. And,
Yeah.
she was a comedian, and she wants me to come down to a local place in Atlanta called Dad's Garage and do some comedic improv type stuff.
Oh, cool.
I
Fun.
may do it just for fun.
Yeah, fun.
I'm not a natural comedian. I'm just not a.
Yeah.
I mean, usually guys that are comedians, and they know it before they ever became a comedian.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy playing comedic roles, and it would be fun to do some more for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So then maybe the last question right here. I think this is pretty interesting. What's your favorite food?
What is my food?
What's your favorite food? Oh, well, we lost connection with Eric James Morris, but we have his info in the bottom there. On Facebook, it's Eric James Morris. On YouTube, it's Eric James Morris. And then if you want to reach out to him on Instagram, it's at Eric James Morris. I thank you for coming on.
Oh. Hey, I lost you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but I say anything that's Spanish descent is my favorite food of all time. I love Mexican food. Anything spicy is that's my go-to.
We lost your video. Okay, well then. Sorry, I'm not sure if you can still hear me or not. I can kind of see you, but I just wanted to let everybody know that right below is Eric James Morris social media, and then I think you can still talk if you want to promote any links or anything that's going on that you want to promote.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's all right. Yeah.
Okay, well, just come by my IMDb page and check out what we got going on, what's coming up, what's in pre-production. Just go to imdb.com and look for Eric James Morris, and you'll find me. You can also visit me at Facebook, find my professional page, which is just Eric James Morris, or come to my personal page and say hello. I mean, send me a friend's request, and hopefully we can connect. Just Eric Morris and the number 2 is that link there. So, yeah, that's pretty much the best way to find me on social media. And I look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eric, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope that all the success for you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Trent. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.